Hello there, my fellow oceanographers. Today I will be going over the subject of scientific method. Now, the scientific method has a couple of different variations, but right now I'll be going over the observation, question, hypothesis, experiment, analyze data, conclusion, and share data. Now, let's start with observation. Observation is when you notice something that piques your interest and you want to study it, but you already have questions forming in your head. That's when you ask questions about what you observe. And then a hypothesis is basically making an educated guess on the topic that you saw or what you think that you know about it. And with experimentation, that's when you take the subject that you chose and you run a couple of experiments seeing if your hypothesis will be proven right or wrong, if the data supported your experiment. Now, with analyzing the data, you basically just look at the results and you compare it back to your hypothesis to see if your hypothesis was supported or if it was proven wrong and that this is the actual answer. That's also your conclusion as well. And then you go off and you share your findings with other scientists by publishing it in a paper or a book or sharing their findings with other classmates or other scientists around you who are working on other experiments. Now, what is an example of these 5 steps? Observation. You are looking at seaweed and you notice that it grows better in one area than another. Then you start to question, does sunlight affect seaweed growth? So you think it over and you make an educated guess. That, I think that seaweed grows faster with more sunlight than it does with less. And so that leads to your experimentation. You take one seaweed, you place it in a environment with less sunlight than you do with the other. The other one that you place with more sunlight to see whether or not your hypothesis will be correct. So you wait for the experiment to go through. You come back because obviously it's going to take a while because it doesn't just happen in a click of a finger, it's a snap of a finger. So you come back and you see, hey, let's say subject B, the one that we put in more sunlight, is growing way faster than subject A that we put in less sunlight. So that right there is your data, and then it leads to your conclusion saying, after experimentation, the data that shows is that the hypothesis was correct. The seaweed grows faster with more sunlight than it does with less. Now, that's a scientific method and how it's used, but the people that do use it are the scientists and oceanographers who use it to help learn and find out new things about the ocean, marine life, and the earth environment on an everyday basis. They take unknowns, they do experiments so that they can publish this and educate other people so that if they ever had the question, they can go and search up the paper on the internet and find out what they need to know. Now, yeah, that's pretty much the scientific method. It's a tool to help you learn what's going on, how's it work, and if your educated guess was right. Thank you for listening.